My first job right out of college that I did was to be a probation officer. While I was a probation officer in San Francisco, I was also a stand-up comedian. And in 1980, I won the San Francisco Comedy Competition. And that was the same year I was the California Probation Officer of the Year. And what I learned, I think more than anything else, was that there's a duality to the job. There's a seriousness, but there's a playful wisdom that comes from accepting the fact that even in the most serious moments, there's great levity. That is what helped me, and I had learned that in my life from earlier on being a medical corpsman and taking care of badly wounded people, working with the tough kids. I started to learn that humor was a way to break down the barriers of fear that lived in kids. I tell everybody that fear is the little dark room where negatives are developed. And if you can use humor to make a kid identify with you and laugh with you, then they'll open up, and you can extrapolate so many things about the sadness inside them, the hurt, the pain, the sorrows, and the self-destructiveness in them, why they do drugs, why they do self-destructive things.
You every day see a kid here who gets isolated, teased, picked on, laughed at, and has become the target of lots of other kids teasing and bullying. Raise your hands, please. Raise your hands high, high. Look around the room, please. Look how disconnected we get over stuff. I mean, how many of you guys play that video game, Grand Theft Auto Vice City? You run over homeless people.
The petri dish for all of the bullying that takes place is unaddressed grief. Grief turns to anger, the anger to rage. Rage has two directions, outwards towards others, inwards towards the self. To drop from the brain into their heart and live in compassion, live in connectivity. The little girl that you're picking on or teasing and bullying is someday going to be the paramedic that comes over to your house, lifts your baby son up out of the bathtub, and gives him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. The little boy that you've laughed at since second grade because he can't read real well is someday going to be the emergency room physician. I think everybody experiences bullying and injustice and unfairness and inequality, and I think you become the bully sometime.
What do you think bullying is?
It's when a big guy beats up a little guy for no reason.
Wow, is that true?
It doesn't have to be physical. I read it can be verbal.
When I tell kids, what people think of me is none of my business. Who cares? They don't know my heart, they don't know my journey. I tell kids that because the #1 regret of dying people in the hospice is wishing they had worried less about what people think of them.